Our topic for discussion is chi-square, this distribution that is used to compare discrete x's and discrete y's, and then how can we tell if there's a difference by looking at the p-value. So the p-value, the probability, is going to give us an idea of when the values that we have on the chi-square distribution are telling us that there is a difference or there is not a difference. Alright, so we're going to take a look at some discrete versus discrete data. And the example that we're going to use for this, it's a marketing and sales example. And the situation, we've got 4 regions, and there are 4 products that are being sold in each of the regions, same products. The frequency are the counts of the units sold for each of the products within the regions. We've got 50 weeks of data. We've got 800 data points. The minimum sales in any given week for any given product could be as low as 0 and could be as high as 22 units. And these are high dollar items. So let's take a look at trying to understand what we can get from a chi-square analysis. So the questions that the chi-square can help us to answer associated with this data set that we have would be, are there differences between the regions? What are their strategies like? Are there differences between the products? Do the products make a difference in different regions? So what we want to find out is, what do we know about the regions, their strategies, and the products that we're selling? We've got this data, we've got 50 weeks of data. We're going to use a chi-square analysis, which is a table analysis, to understand what's going on. So we've taken a chance at developing a chi-square distribution based on the degrees of freedom from our analysis. And this would be the perfect looking chi-square. And I know this is an eye test right now. We're going to zoom in a second. And we've identified some values that are notable that are going to help us to make decisions using this chi-square distribution in our example. Let's take a look at this distribution. Now this is a chi-square distribution, and I would have drawn it on the flip chart, but I don't think it would have done it any justice. Now what we have is listed on the bottom. These are values of X, and these could be the values of sales, anywhere from 0 up to 22 units being sold in a given week. This is the distribution that we would expect for 9 degrees of freedom based on our analysis that we've conducted. And some values of note, we've always talked about the p-value as helping us to understand if something is significant or not. Well, 1 minus p is significant. So 1 minus a p-value of 0.05 is going to give us a 95% confidence that we can say that there is a difference. So we've always said that a p-value of 0.05 or less defines difference. And if we have p-values that are greater than 0.05, then we would have to declare that there is no difference. So what I've noted on here is if we are at an x value of about 3.5, that equates to a p-value of 0.05. So if we have sales that are less than 3.5 units per week or less, then we know that that is significantly different than anything taking place in here. If we have sales of 12 units, which is a p-value of 0.05, or greater, then we know that that is different than the pack. So in here, in this 3.5 to 12, in this range in here, that's kind of what's normally expected to take place, and my expectations are that my sales would be in here. If I start to see something below that or above that, then I can declare that there is a difference, there's something going on. So if I can identify a product or a region that has sales averaging 12 or greater during the course of the year, then they're doing something that's different than the rest of the regions. And look at this, if I'm at 18 or higher, that's a p-value of 0.01 or less. P minus 0.01, 1 minus 0.01 would be a 99% confidence. So as I start to have sales 12 or higher, I know that that is different. And if I have sales that are at 3.5 or less, I know that that is different. So what I want to find out in my analysis is, are there any products or are there any regions that are going to be in this low sales range or in the high sales range, and that can tell me that maybe the strategy that they have is working very well. It is definitely different than whatever strategies have me in this range. So that's what I'm going to look for in this chi-square analysis. That's how you can take a look at the chi-square distribution and the p-values to help you to make decisions for your business.